last day we went to straight lines and circles. We said that a straight line, we have all these equations here for a straight line. We know the general form for a circle. What you'll call the first form again? X minus A. Standard form. Okay. Standard form and the general form for a circle. We looked at finding the equation of a tangent. I showed you how to get the equation of a circle using 3 points only. I showed you both methods, right? And then I showed you the parametric equation of a circle. All right? So every time you see those parametrics, what you have is a circle. All right, so next, we want to talk about ellipse. As I told you before, a circle has 2 main properties. It has a center, and all the points on the circumference equidistant from that center. The ellipse, on the other hand, it has a center, right? But it's not, but the circumference is not equidistant around it. All right. In the ellipse, there's a major axis and a minor axis. All right. So head up ellipse, and let's take a look at how to work with the equation of the ellipse. All right, so watch here. So if we have an ellipse, right, and the ellipse has a center 0, 0, right? I'll start with a simple one first, right? The center is 0, 0. The ellipse has a major axis and a minor axis. Right. It has a major and minor axis, right? So here is its center. Excuse me. Wait a minute. You don't need it. Right? It has a major and a minor axis. So what you will recognize is that from the center, one of the distances is longer. So from the center on the x-axis to either side is longer than the center to the y-axis on either side. So this axis here, we call it the major axis. And this axis here, we call it the minor axis. Okay? Right? And in order now to get the major and minor, we need 2 values. We need A and we need B. So what you will see later on, underneath there, you shall see the general form here of an ellipse. X squared over A squared, Y squared and B squared is equal to 1. So an ellipse looks like this if the center is 0, 0. All right? So this here is your general form. If the center is not 0, 0, I'll show you what to do, right? Now, it's here. Coming down to foci and taking a little while. Shavish in front here. I don't want to confuse them as yet. I will keep it simple. Shavish. Draw this, please. Right, remember, this is how it will look if the major axis is the x and the minor is the y, and if the center is 0, 0. Hurry up. Catch that fast. All right, so let's do a quick example now. All right, let's try a quick example. Suppose I gave you something like this. Watch this here. You'd recognize that, well, of course, you don't always get 2 squared, you might get 4, right? But if you look here, you'd recognize that A is 2 and Y is 1, right? So how are you going to sketch that? Go to your axis, right? You're sketching 2 here because if you look at it, the center is 0, 0. So you're sketching 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 1 on this side, sorry. 1 on this side, one on this side. And then connect it up. That is your ellipse. All right? But the equation must be in this form. Okay? It must be in this form. Sketch it quick. That is it. What else you need? All right, so now that we have an idea of how to sketch the ellipse, let's introduce the foci. Right? Let's introduce the point of focus now. Keep it done. All right, so if you go back to the first one, right? If you go back to the first one here, there are 2 special points. There are 2 special points called the foci. C minus C, right? And those 2 special points, right? Those 2 special points are 2 things. They are the same distance from the center. They are also on the major axis. And watch this here. Right, let me see if I could let me see if I could do it in different colors, right? If I were to draw a line from this book, let's pick up point there. If I were to draw a line from here to here and call that D1, and draw a line from here to here and call that D2, the sum of those values is a constant, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So for let me change it to what I'm yellow. I hope you're all seeing this. If I pick a next point here and I find the distance here, D3, and I find the distance here, D4, If you were to add up D1 and D2 and add up D3 and D4, it'll be constant. That's one of the special properties of the ellipse, right? The sum of the distances from the foci is always constant. All right. So those two lines in green plus the two lines in yellow will always be constant. All right. That's one of the special properties of the ellipse. Right? How do we find C now? How do we find C? Right? C is the square root of A squared minus B squared if A is more than B. And C is the square root of B squared minus A squared if B is more than A. So whenever you do an ellipse, you have to show them the foci. Okay? What is the foci? Right? The foci is a special point along the major axis where the sum of the distances from any point, constant. If I were to go much further away, like all the way down here, and I add up this and I add up that, that'll be the same distance. If this is the what, 5 and 6, that'll be the same as the 3 and D4. Amanda, are you okay with that? Malia? Okay, so see our circle is always equidistant from the center. A locus, the sum of the distances from the foci is always constant. Okay with that? Write down how to find C, right? Write down how to find C. Write down how to find C because we need C there, right? Let's go back to the next one. All right, so come back here. What is the major axis here, Zaria? The X or the Y? The horizontal or the vertical? The? Which one is the major? Oh, I have it written there. All right, so we need to find C. C is the square root of A squared minus B squared. That's the square root of what? 3, right? Right, so here will be root 3. Well, it'll be a little further back, yeah? Here will be root 3, here will be minus root 3. Right? So your diagram must show the look, must show the foci. That's okay? Nikolai, you okay with that? Slower. All right, next one. So I have a little question here. How do I turn? How do I turn this one here? Oh, by the way, is this an ellipse? 9x squared plus 4y squared is 36. Is that ellipse? What to do? Right. Divide everything by 36. Because the right-hand side must equal to what, Adrian? To 1, right? So you'll get x squared over 4 is equal to y squared over 9 is equal to 1. Or x squared on 2 squared plus y squared on 3 squared is 1. Okay? Sketch that fast. Quick little sketch. Pardon? I can't. You have to sketch it. What's the major axis? The x or the y? Right? Because the y is 3. Good. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Huh? Yeah, point the foci out one time. Right? So you have C as the square root of 3 squared minus 2 squared. So that's the square root of how much? 9 minus 4 root 5. So the major axis is the y-axis. The minor is the x. Right? Mine's not perfect, yeah, but root 5 negative root 5. It's not a circle anymore, Shavish. Right. What would happen now? What would happen now if the center is not 0, 0? Right? Same shape, but we had to be able to identify the form, right? When the center is not 0, 0. Finish, Shivish? Hurry, hurry. Right? While you're waiting, when the center is not 0, 0, the equation looks something like this. It looks something like that. There's a value here and here now. Okay? There's a value there and there now. H and K will be the center. So it looks something like, sorry? So it looks something like this. If the center is PQ, then the ellipse looks something like this. Huh? Zoom out of it. Okay? So you'll recognize that if the center is P and Q, it will look like this. Right? And then the foci will change slightly. The foci will be P plus or minus C by Q and P plus or minus Q by C. Okay, so make a note of that, please. Right? This is a general form of an ellipse. Okay, went after? Yeah, I'll show you an example. Ready? Next. All right, so let's take a look at this one here. Just look at it. Just look at it. Right, we'll do this one together. X minus 2 all squared on 2 squared. Y minus 5 squared on 4 squared is 1. First thing you have to make sure the right-hand side is 1. Right, so we're good to go. What is the center here, Shivish? What's the center of this ellipse? Look at the blue line. Positive 2 and 5. Right? And the major axis is what? X or Y? Look at the denominator. Y. Okay? Y. So therefore, from that, we know what the center is. We know what A and B is, and we know that B is more than 0. All right? Copy that down. right? The center is 2, 5. Center is 2, 5. We know what A and B is. So we can easily find C. Right? Then we're going to plug together. After we find C, we're going to plug it together. Right? Work out C, right? Right? Set up your little axes. Two, 5. Well, no, I just want to show you how you're plotting it. So the center is what? 2, 5, right? So 2, 5 is around here. Right. How are we going to get all the other points around it? Real simple, right? The x-axis, A gives us an idea of how far from the center, right, on the horizontal part will be. So here, this is telling us that we're going 2 to the right and 2 to the left. So if here is 2, we're going about here, so that's about 4. That'll be 4, 4, 5. And then we're going 2 to the left. So that'll be 0, 5. Right? I'm just trying to get it to line up, right? So again, what's the purpose of A? A is to give us this value here. A is to give us this value here. Y'all okay with that? How to get the 2 endpoints there? Zaria? No? No, you're lying. Watch why. We on 5, right? We on 5. The horizontal, the vertical radius is like 4. So if the vertical radius is 4, here's what it's saying. It's saying that from here to here have to be 4. And from here to here have to be 4. You see that? So 5 plus 4 is 9. So that point there is 2, 9. And this point here is 2, 1. That's okay? You sure? Now you have the endpoints. And you connect it up like this. You're okay with that? Grant you trouble? Right? So I want you to consider, you see like A is like the horizontal radius. B is like the vertical radius. All right? So it's important that we could identify that, right? Any questions online? So what this B value tells us? This B value tells us that you're moving 4 away on the vertical side up from the center. So you're going up 4, down 4. A tells us, Shavish, what are you doing? You could do this. Come off your phone. Right? And last thing, we have to show the foci. All right? So you use a little formula I gave you and you draw the foci. right? So it looked like this. Sketch it quick. Any questions online? Right. So this is your ellipse here, right? Again, what's the ellipse? The ellipse has the endpoints, the ellipse has the center and the foci. That's okay? Huh? Yeah, no, she have a little confused face on she. Let me hear. Yeah. Could you find the center? You can find the center. Right. Yes, C is the formula I gave you before. Right? Right, yes. So based on, you see, based on if B is bigger than A or A bigger than B, the foci is always on the major axis. Right? So, yeah. No, you can figure it out. You can figure it out here. Huh? Oh, well, for this one, right? For this one, the major axis is the y-axis, right? The major is here. The major axis is the y-axis. So the foci, I'll write in black. The foci is here and here, right? So the foci is H, right? H by, what was, right, H by 5. Sorry, let me take off H. It's 2 by 5 plus C. C was root 12. And here is 2 by 5 minus root 12. That's all it's saying there. So okay, now online, you all seen how to write the foci, right? So it will boil down to kind of just going back here and remembering this, right? Huh? Yeah, since B is more than A, is the next one. What? That'll give you the points to plot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just plot it on the graph. Let's try this here fast, earlier. Catch this one fast. Oh wait, no, sorry. I want to switch it around. Right, try it now. Sketch out fast. What's the center, Shirish? Right. So you get something right. What's the major? What's A? A is? Sure. A is how much? A is 5. Right? Number A is square denominator. Right, online, do a quick little sketch, please. Right, try and do a nice sketch, all, yeah? Have one. You want to hit the question? You will. Oh, wait, oh, sorry. Just now, I want to take a pic of something. Check it out, you see AI? Yeah, on Friday? Oh. Well, you have to ask and I'll give you. Yeah, so the foci always goes on a major axis, Rihanna. So you don't really have to memorize what I show you. Put it on the major axis and then add to the next value. If it's on the X, add to the Y value and minus the Y value. Add C and minus C. And you're good to go. Hey, stop talking and let's do the sketch quick. Come on, do the sketch quick. Arian, what are you doing? Arian, what are you doing, fam? Leave him. He could do he could do it. Do it for him. Don't. Right, so that's what root 25 minus 16. That's 9. So C is 3. Nice. Do a little sketch. Let me see what you got. Make sure I'm putting your foci, right? Yeah, do the sketch fast. All right, so your center is minus 2, 3, right? Yeah, you can find all the points and then that's what I do myself. Right, the major axis is the X or the Y? The major is the X, right? So you're adding 5 to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 3, 3, and then I go in the next way, and I got what? 3 minus 7. Yeah, minus 7, 3. Right? And then you go up what? 4? You go up 4. So right now we are 3, so it's going up to 7. So that's minus 2, 7. Sorry, that's minus 2 there earlier. Some of the value under here, Shivish. What are you talking? Huh? So the value is minus 2, minus 1. Okay? And then you connect it up. Oh God! How is this thing looking so? Huh? Looking like a diamond. Well, if you already check it out, 5 and 4 kind of close, right? Kind of close. Huh? It's just a little sketch. Huh? With the right points. All right, so that's 1, 1, 1, and then we need to put in the foci. Where will the foci be on the x, on the horizontal, or the vertical? On the horizontal. So it will be at what? So the C is 3, right? So it will be right here, 3 away here, and 3 away here. So it will be minus 5, 3, and 1, 3. This one turned out kind of nice. Okay, John, follow what to do? For sure. All right. I'm gonna just give you one more and then give you the parametric. A parabola kind of multiple choice already, but something small on it. All this here given, I never really had to sketch it before. If they repeat that one. Online, are you okay there? Kyra, Kevin, Samira, are you okay? All right, I want to give you one more form, right? Sometimes it don't look this nice. We had to get it in this form, right? We have to find a way to get it in this form here. See this form? This form easy for us to read it off. But sometimes it looks like this. Should we take a picture? Because I'm not waiting on you. You're talking too much. All right, so sometimes it looks like this. Sometimes it's 8x squared plus 18y squared minus 96x plus 144y plus 288 equal to 0. What does that look like? If you look at it closely, it might look, you're seeing it there? Hold on. Yeah, it might look like a circle, except for the coefficients of x squared and y squared is not the same. I think it's plus 288, right? Right. It might look like a circle, but here's what, this value here and this value here is not the same. If they were the same, then it's a circle, right? Because you could divide everything by 8 or 18 or whatever. So what we need to do now is to put this in a form, right? That's easy for us to read it off. So here what you do. You just bring the x's together, bring the x terms together. 8x squared minus 96x 18y squared plus 144y, and let's move across that 288. All right. And here we're going to do. See this here? We're going to complete this square for each one. Right? We're going to put it in the form a is x minus plus h squared plus k. Right? We're going to put each one in that form. All right? So let me show you how we're going to do that. We just going to use the formula for h and k. Just in case you all forgot, h is equal to b on 2a, and k is equal to c minus ah squared. All right? So we're going to complete the square. Right? So we're going to complete the square. Right? So I'll factor out 8 here. I'll get x squared minus 12. And here I'll factor out the 18. And I will get y squared. What's 18 into 144? 16. Right? So let's find h and thing one time. Right? So it's minus b on 2a. Right? So that'll be minus 12 on 2 by a. A is 1. All squared. Plus k. K is c. But remember, c is 0, right? So it's 0 minus a. A was 1. 8y. Yeah, that's not. I confusing you? Yeah. What is 18 into 144? It's 6. It's 8. Okay, thanks. Sorry. Oh, no. Right, but you'll follow what I'm doing there. This is h, and I'm working up k here. K is c minus a h squared. C is 0, a is 1, and h is this value here, which is 12 and 2 is 6. All right? So I'll end up with minus 1 by 6 squared. Right? That's taking up this here. All right? So I just complete the square inside here. So that'll be 8 by, open brackets, x minus 6 squared plus minus 36, right? And then I'm going to multiply everything by 8. 8 by x minus 6 squared minus 8 by 36. Look how good I'm looking. Where? What it looking like? Where? Here? This? What are you talking about? Well, that's the pen, that's not me. All right, next part, plus 18, open brackets, y plus h is b on 2a. So it's b on 2 by 1 all squared plus, again, c is 0. 0 minus a is 1. 8 on 2 is 4. 4 squared. Close brackets. So that's plus 18 by y plus I know it's real long, right? But all we're doing here is putting it in the form of the ellipse, right? Y plus 4 all squared plus 16 by 1 is 16 minus 1 is minus 16. And that's it there. You end up with plus 18 by y plus 4 squared minus 18 by 16. Is equal to minus 288. Woo! A real one, boy. No, you can do your computer this way. I just showing you where it came from. Right, so you end up with 8 minus 6 squared plus 18 by y plus 4 squared is equal to minus 288 plus, I'm bringing out all numbers on the left side. All right, so the last line is 8 by x minus 6 squared. You're seeing that there? I want to go to the next side. So let's copy it down there. I'll take a pic. So after you complete the square, bring all the x's, bring all the x and y on that side, and bring all the numbers on the next side. All right, so the last part, right it on top, you'll get 8 by x minus 6 squared plus 18 by y plus 4 squared. When you work out the right-hand side, you're supposed to get 288, I think. Yeah, 288, nice. And now it might look a little better because if you divide everything by 288, where on the right side? How? Right? 18 by? What's that? 18 by 16 is 288, right? And 8 by 36 is also 288, right? So when I divide it out, what 8 into 288 is how much? What's 8 into 288? 32? 36. Oh. So we end up with x minus 6 squared over 36. 18 into 288 is 16, right? And you'll get y plus 4 squared, and here's 1. Right? So 10 years after, we end up with this. If you want here, yeah. Now, we'll stop there. I won't let you draw this one. I just want to show you how to get it. Right? It never came before, but I just telling you how to handle it. Right? How you're handling it, else all I want you to remember is this. If you see something like this in an exam, complete the square here, complete the square here, and then you'll get in a form like this. Right? And then you should be able to make the right-hand side 1. Right? I know it's long, right? I won't give you any more like that. Right? But there's a next form of points in the equation of an ellipse. Talia, are you okay there? So remember, to complete the square, you have to find A, H, and K. Right? I know it's long there. All right. And last thing about the parabola that we need to know, right? We need to know the parametric form, right? So the parametric form of an ellipse is this. Copy it down. What's the difference between the parametric form of a circle and an ellipse? Watch it closely there. What's the difference between an ellipse and a circle? Look back at the circle, and there was a slight difference between the ellipse and the circle. No, look at the parametric. So something different. Let me put it right next to each other here. Right, the values here is the same. Right, the coefficient of cos and sine is the same because it has a radius. But here is different. Okay? So that's how you know an ellipse and a circle. Okay, so you have to be able to identify the parameter, but suppose you don't remember it, right? What you do again to find the equation? What you do to find the equation, Nikolai? If I give you the parametric, how you get the Cartesian? Right, well, you make cos the subject and sine the subject, and good. Nice. Good job, right? Just take one alone now. Find the Cartesian of that. Don't sketch it. Just tell me the Cartesian. Find the Cartesian of that. Man, now say what to do. Should be listening. Don't sketch it, eh? Don't sketch it. Just work it out. Right, so cosine theta is equal to x minus 4 and 2, and sine theta is y minus 3 and 4. Right, when you square it, you'll get something looking like this, and you get an equation like this. And that's it. You write down the center and write down the foci. Okay, so that's the last thing we need to know about parabola until I do ellipse, until I do loci, right? Sorry, on the ellipse, sorry about that. All right, so far we looked at this. Oh, you're writing, so sorry. Okay, so you center 4, 3, you find C, and you tell them what the foci is, right? Don't leave out the foci, please. Right? Well, when you're defining an ellipse, you must have the center and the foci. The foci kind of acts as a radius. Right? The reason the plus and minus there is you're doing it twice, right? 4 by 3 plus root 12, 4 by 3 minus root 12. All right? All right. So far we did the circle and we did the ellipse. The last thing we have to do is the parabola. Look at that. Look how the parabola looking there. Right? The parabola looking a little confusing, but really and truly, you all did these already. All recognize this? And that's a max and a min. Right? Those are parabolas. These are also parabolas. Right? These are also parabolas. But in here, y was equal to x squared here. Y squared is equal to, well, to x. Okay? So those are the general parabolas that we need to know. All right? What's the special? What is the, again, the like the loci and defining the parabolas is this. If I ask you to draw a parabola, you need two important things. Right? In order for you to draw a parabola, here's what you need. You need a foci again, right? You need a foci again. And you need something called, hold on, I'll push it back a little bit. I need one last thing called the directrix. Right? So on this, all we have to do is this. Every single point on the parabola is equidistant from the foci and the directrix. So it might be one in the middle here. It might be somewhere here-ish. The distance from here to here, right, has to be the same all the time. It has to be equidistant from those two things all the time. So the distance from here to here has to be the same distance here to here. If you were to plot it out, you will get something like this. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a little sketch there. Right, not perfectly to scale, but it will look something like this. And that shape is your parabola. Every single point on the parabola is the same distance from the focus and the directrix. Okay? Every single point on that curve is the same distance from the focus and the directrix. All right, so I'm gonna send this to you on the group, right? So don't rush to write it down. I'm gonna show you. Right, so your parabolas look like this. This is its general shape. right? And this is your parametric. Okay? That's all you have to learn. You have to learn the parametrics and the shape of each one. Okay, so we have to learn the parabola. We have to be able to, especially these here, identify when A is more than 0, A is less than 0. And then learn the parametric. So the parametric for the parametric for the parabola is this and this. All we had to do is make T the subject and plug it in the next one. And you'll get the equation. Okay? So you had to learn all the parametric forms, right? But you can always work it out. All right, before I forget, let me just send it this one time. I want all the notes or just that alone? I want all the right? But there's the handwritten. No, we're not done yet. I'm doing loci next week and maybe starting vector. Yeah. Right? We're doing loci next week. Right, it might take a little while to come up, but it's there. All right, so check in the group and you'll see everything, right? All right, online. You can log out. All right, I'll see you all next week. Please, God. Right, next week we'll do a couple past papers and focus on the and look at loci. Right? Okay, you can log out. Bye.